7th to the 18th of July 2026. Packages include return flights ex-Johannesburg on the world's #1 airline, Qatar Airways, Saudi visa, transfers, accommodation and guided ziyarats. Contact us for the super low prices. Limited seats are available. Call 031-208-4222. Shore Mirage Travel, your trusted partner for a seamless Umrah journey.
Africa. For too many communities across Africa and the world, access to clean water remains a dream. At Africa Muslims Agency, we dig deep, reaching into the heart of the earth to fill the cups of those in need. Sponsor a water well for 16,500 Rand, or a borehole in Afghanistan for 55,000 Rand, or Africa for 65,000 Rand, or any amount. With water comes food, health, education and growth. An ongoing reward with Africa Muslims Agency.
Tweet us at Al-Ansar Radio.
Hey youth of today, it's time to keep it real. Real talk, real issues, real youth. From mental health and peer pressure to faith, identity and the power of social media. No topic is off limits. Join Sumaya every Wednesday evening from 6 to 7 p.m. on Radio Al-Ansar for real talk where your voice matters. It's your space, your story, your platform. Real talk, real issues, real youth. Only on Radio Al-Ansar.
Assalamu alaikum and a very warm welcome to Youth Frequency right here at Radio Al-Ansar 90.4 FM in Durban and 105.6 FM in Pietermaritzburg. I'm your host this evening with Jamie. Liam ditched us, but then he's doing assignments, so well done to you, boy. You're definitely going far. So we'll be diving into a powerful, thought-provoking topic that speaks directly to the hearts and minds of our youth. Well, that's Youth Frequency. We say it the way it is. And I have youthful coaches. I'm talking about you, Michelle, Mommy Bear, not you, Jamie. So if you could fix one thing about the world right now, what would it be? Now, that's not just a question, it's a challenge to think deeper, dream bigger, and reflect on the kind of world we want to live in and the role we play in shaping it. So joining me tonight are two incredible guests. We have Jamie and we have Michelle. Together we're going to unpack ideas, inspire change, and maybe even spark something powerful within you. So stay tuned, stay engaged, and let's get into this Youth Frequency where young voices matter. So, if you could change one thing or fix one thing about the world right now, what would it be? It's like, I'm a fairy and I'm thinking, the way you're looking at me, Vishal, it's like I'm also thinking too. And you're thinking like, gosh, there's so much and I only got one thing to do. Yeah, so Jamie, what's that one thing you would like to change?
For me, it's difficult to choose. As you said, there's so many things that we want to change. But for me, I'd say the way that people, well, it's kind of a double in one. You know, the way that people treat themselves and therefore the way that they treat others. For me, that's a big thing. I feel that we need to normalize kindness.
Well, again, I think everyone touches on this. I blame social media. I blame social media. You know, I saw a meme yesterday. I think it was like a 1-year-old child on a phone or a tablet. And it was saying this child won't be able to communicate, won't know empathy, won't know how to challenge emotions because they only have contact with that phone and you grow. And that's a sad reality. That's a sad reality. And Michelle, what would you like to change? I know.
I think if I only had one thing, it would be that everybody work to make themselves better first before they actually judge others, you know, because there's a lot of judgments happening in the world. So if everybody search within themselves, look at their own lives, look at their actions, what they're doing, make yourself better, you know, rather than judge others. Start there and then help others.
Exactly. It's like, but you know, it's like we're always picking on people, what's the word, dissing them and stuff like that, but we don't worry about our backyards.
100%.
We don't worry
and
about
that is the reality
culture.
of it.
That's the culture.
It's like stay in your lane. You know,
stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. Mind your own business. Develop yourself. And until you're totally perfect, then I'd judge others. So imagine there'll be far less judgment. Everybody will be on this road to developing themselves, becoming better in every area of their lives. And if you need my help, ask me. Don't just jump to help people. Sometimes they don't want your help. Sometimes they have different opinions. So to put it in a nutshell, mind your own business.
Yeah. Well, mind your own business. You know, it's like, and what they say, celebrate your own Christmas. Huh? You know, if you had the power to fix one global issue, well, there's so much happening around the world instantly. What would it be? There's so much happening globally.
Yes.
I think leadership.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I was
that's
gonna
the main.
say.
That's the main heading. That's the main frontline boss leadership, and everything comes. Whether it's civil wars, whether it's what's currently
How we
happening.
see leadership, or what sort of leadership skills are we teaching? You know, are we teaching people to be brutal and, you know, authoritative leaders and go out there and slashing people and agreeing to, like, for an example, what's happening in certain areas of the world, you know, like Palestine and everything. Do we agree to those things? Or are we teaching them to be servant leaders, you know, to teach people to serve each other, to
And
be there
care
for
for
each other,
humanity,
to care for
yeah.
humanity. So yes, definitely leadership.
Exactly, leadership is so important. But the youth today, if you ask them what one thing they can change in the world, they'll be like talking about material things,
The currency.
the currency, the money, invest in silver.
Yeah.
I think a certain amount, yes, but I've always said I have to give credit to the youth, especially the more that I work with them. I realize they really are so much more awake than what we realize. You'd find that they can actually educate us on so much that's going on around the world that we might not even know about. So there is a larger group, and I think it's so important. So yeah, I'd say definitely for the youth, you know, learn about what's happening, speak up. You know, your voice does matter. It's not about materialistic things, as you said. It's important to know what's happening around you. It's like if there's a huge fire and you're completely oblivious, you're gonna burn inside of it.
That's so true. That's so true. We tend to live in our bubbles and not worry about anything. Do you think people today feel heard when it comes to global issues? I don't think so.
No, I don't. But I feel that we've also normalized so much, like complaining. So it's like they'll complain, and that's pretty much it. And there's nothing being done further. So I do. There's so many different people, and there's such uniqueness and so much gifts. I always say I refuse to believe that there's not someone out there who can help and someone out there who can do it amazing. But we're so used to just complaining and accepting that this is our reality, rather than doing something.
You know, while
about
you
it.
guys are talking, you're making me think. You know, I started off this whole thing answering mind your own business. Maybe we should actually start analyzing what we need to get involved in.
Yeah, 100%.
Because when you talk about global issues and stuff like that, to a certain degree, we mind everybody else's business on a day-to-day scale with what's happening in front of us, right? And we make life totally hard for each other. But on a global scale, I think that overall we keep quiet about things that if we spoke up about could help to make the world a better place.
100%.
True. But you know, everyone is so sensitive. I feel like, what would you say, Michelle? Like everyone's looking for the problem. It's like there's rights, human rights, children's rights, child's rights, freedom, right to this, right to that, whatever. Everyone got their rights. So like, do we have too much of power and using it incorrectly?
I like what you say, we're looking for a problem, because I can tell you many years ago God showed me, and I believe it was God that showed me, that we're very quick to talk about the problems and yes, the right we have to certain things, but nobody's talking about how it is that you make it better. How do you change things? What are the actions you need to take? You know, I mean, I was posting heavily on social media at one time about spiritual topics, you know, and one of the things, and I do believe it was God, he said to me, "Not, yes, everybody knows scriptures from the Bible or the Quran and stuff like that, but who's teaching people how to actually go and be a good human being? What are the things you actually need to do to become that person?" Nobody's very active with those things. We need to take people by their hand sometimes and show them the way.
So basically, when you think about it, right, the way things are going, these are our views and opinions. We are stereotyping. Yes, that's what we are doing. But it's like you want to separate humanity, empathy from your religion. So it's like it's okay. I can treat do something wrong, treat people terribly, but I'm still praying what I'm supposed to do. I'm still a good, whether you're Muslim, Christian, Hindu, Jew, whatever. But it's not that way.
Yeah, I think that comes from a very skewed or disoriented perception of the nature of God and just what it is to be a human in general. I think a lot of people, again, we're normalizing things that we shouldn't. It's now making an excuse for your evil deeds. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with what Jamie and you are saying, Sumaya.
Okay.
I mean, just recently I've been dealing with the situation of coaching, right? Where there's a person that I've been working with, and I know they won't mind me just mentioning the situation because we're not talking about who they are, etc. Where they come from a family where everything is go to church, 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 right? Be a good person, go to church, pray, pray, pray. And then this person's struggling now with that because they say, okay, now, as long as I'm in church every Sunday, does that mean I'm a good human being? But when we go home, my same family sitting talking bad about people, they're interfering with my life. They're encouraging things that the Bible's actually saying, do not overall, but there's a lot of things, you know.
Basically, they don't practice what they preach.
So what's the use, you know? So I've been spending time coaching that person, you know, to help them to, you know, make certain decisions about their lives, etc., etc.
You know, since you're talking about that, when you think about it, right, you know, a narcissist, the whole world loves them. They're so good and helpful to everybody, but they're worse to the people at home, their wives, their
100%.
spouses. And, you know, they say Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. If you know, you know. That's a novel. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So basically two personalities. Two personalities. And a lot of the youth, again, these are our views and opinions, are confused. They don't know which way to go. Should we go in the popular route of being rude, or should we go in the right, correct route of doing what's right, being kind and not being, cruel. What is one issue affecting the youth in South Africa that needs urgent attention?
I think just the
unemployment.
Well, yes, but I'd say further than that, this idea that they have that they or their voices don't matter and do not hold weight. I will always emphasize that you do matter, especially as a youth. And I always say our ancestors didn't come from this. The fact that we can just be sitting here all night having a conversation, they come from a very different time, and we're fortunate that we even can speak up and can use our voices, and there's power in this. And when you start speaking up for what you believe in, and of course in a respectful way for the most part, and in a way that is upholding your values, but when you can learn to do that, you'll find that the world does change, and there is so much more here for you. Even, for example, the topic of unemployment, yes, it is very unfortunate, but you'd also find a lot of our youth are so talented and so gifted. They can easily create their own thing. We see it all the time. What's stopping one from the other? The fact that the other one doesn't believe and doesn't feel that they can do it. So I think it's just their self-identity and their self-belief as well.
100%.
It's so true. And when you think about it, like, you're demotivated. You're not motivated because, like, there you are, you're unemployed, you're looking to do something, but you're so good in doing A, B, C, D. You know? Yeah. Or, it's sad that over the years, the unemployment rate has just grew. Just, constantly grew. Jamie, from your experience, what mind shift do young leaders need today? What mind shift?
I think it's, as my mom said earlier, just what the idea of what a leader is. We've been sold that this idea of oppression is what it is to lead, and you have to listen to me and do what I say, and that's what a leader is, but that's an oppressor. For me, a leader is someone that can push you from behind. It's someone that leads with love. I think we also get sold that leadership means brutality in some sort of way, even if it's in a stern way, but I believe that true leadership actually, yes, though it can be stern, will be rooted in a space of love. So I feel just being able to also recognize, like when I went in India, they emphasized the importance of a proper guru, like a teacher. You can't just go to anybody and learn things, especially if it's something of importance. If you're trying to learn an instrument, you won't go to someone that smashes instruments. You're going to go to someone that knows how to teach you that.
You know, you're saying that, and it's coming from you. It's like when you look at the culture of South Africa, I mean, the youth, if they're not happy with something, they're destroying the residents, they're destroying the tertiary institutions, they're doing things which are destructive because they want their message heard.
Yes.
Right. But long-term goal, do they realize that they're destroying their future? Because where are they going to go if they want to go? Do you know when we had the riots, a very big, massive chain store in Springfield, people were like looting from there, like you couldn't believe. And I think there were like a whole lot of guys who went into the cold room to steal the meat and everything. And one or two of them, the door closed. And I think a cold room, when the door closes to open, you can't open or something.
Open from the outside.
And they died. They passed away there. Do you know their family is charging the massive chain store, yes, for killing their family members. Now, where's the sense in that?
It's denial is not just a river in Egypt.
But
they know what they're doing. They know it doesn't make sense.
Because
they know what they're
feel
doing.
that when they rioted, they were justified to go into the street to take what doesn't belong to them, and they feel that their actions are justified. So again, like we always say, with rights comes responsibility. You want the right to do that, be responsible enough to face the repercussion or what's going to happen. Take accountability for what you've done. There's zero of that happening.
And the culture amongst lots of people, when I was researching, we know people like if this has been happening for a while in South Africa, cargo, container, goods, just say if it's cold drink, food, potatoes or whatever it is, the vehicle meets in an accident and then all of a sudden everyone's looting. But I saw something which shocked me. Somewhere in, I think in Mpumalanga, a trailer, a massive truck which had alcohol, cool drinks, a whole lot of things, was at the robot, waiting for the robot to change to green. While it was still on red, people were just pulling out stuff. You know, normally you'd put that net over.
Yeah.
And this is South Africa. Come on, guys, I'm thinking like in broad daylight. And majority of them were like youthful looking people. So is it becoming an accepted culture to take, you know, we never steal it, we took it, defiant, attitude, go to hell. It's like, we're not picking on your counterparts, Jamie, but
again, it's a behavior that's being normalized.
Exactly, and when it gets normalized, it becomes acceptable. You know, they say when something bad continuously happens and it's never corrected, the next generation thinks it's absolutely normal.
And I think that's what's happening a lot of the time, and that's why it's important for us where we can, especially if you're in a space where you have access to children in general, where you can spread knowledge. We might think it's basic knowledge, but we have to take into account we don't know where these people actually come from. We don't know the lives that they have lived. What if someone's never ever told them? What if that's a survival technique? Or what do you have to experience to genuinely be convinced that that's right? So I think it's also just about spreading knowledge when we do see it in the ways that we can, and understand, especially when it's people doing it to a mass extent, that's something that's been like indoctrinated within them. That's something that's been normalized on a large scale, and it's actually not okay.
And when you're thinking about it, this is our country. I mean, you work a lot with the youth. You work a lot with children, school-going children. I mean, I'm an educator. Why is it when two children are fighting, the entire school is in uproar and in excitement? What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? And you know, a lot of religious leaders and life coaches and people who are involved in the youth, they said that's becoming the norm in the South African schools. If someone's fighting, instead of stopping them or separating, everyone is cheering them.
You know, to be honest with you, our schooling system, though it's gotten us this far, has done no justice in teaching children emotional intelligence.
Well, Jan van Riebeeck won't be there anymore. You heard about that? The curriculum is being changed. It has changed.
Okay.
They took out a lot of, the history, what I think, gosh, we're giving our age when we did the Dutch East India Company,
yes.
all of that there, and how South Africa came about, the Cape and everything. All of that has been removed.
Yeah.
There were some parts of it in probably in the higher grades history textbooks. Now it's going to be completely erased.
Okay.
So it's like we have been here.
Yeah.
This is our country.
Yeah.
So we were just born here and we took charge. So your children, your grandchildren, great-grandchildren won't really know how South Africa was colonized.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think there's so much that again, it's gotten us this far, but in so many ways it's failing us, like especially emotional intelligence. Children need to be able to understand their emotions. Otherwise they will think two people fighting is funny if that's all that they see. To them, again, they don't understand their emotions. They're still learning to be able to navigate that situation, realize, it's not funny. So they need to do a better job at understanding.
Since you're speaking about emotions, when you think about it, right? If a youth has an argument today with their friend or somebody, random person or whoever, they think not even twice of taking out a weapon. Shooting, stabbing, killing that individual. And this happened recently in one of the high schools in South Africa. The child lost his life.
Yeah.
But so it makes you think. I mean, don't you think about your future?
Yeah. Well, I think in that case, again, that a lot of the time that comes down to environments. They are in somewhat way, not all of the time, but in some way, most of the time, witnessing an adult who also does not know how to handle their emotions. They get angry and all of a sudden they trigger happy. So there's no lesson of emotional regulation. Children only know what they're taught. And if they don't see an adult saying, okay, I'm feeling angry, but it's okay, let me stop and breathe. If they just see an adult getting angry and going straight to beat a person, then that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, it's like you sit back and you think like, gosh, what's happening? Everything just doesn't make sense. We keep on talking about this. We talk about it. I think every presenter, every radio show, TV show talks about it. If you open an article, you see this here. Do you think social media helps or hinders real change? Why? I mean, social media, is it bringing positive change or is it hindering? Or
I think it's in the hand of the holder, to be honest with you.
I love that. I love what you just said.
100% it is, because in so many ways it can educate us. In so many ways we've seen how it does bring change, and it can. But on the other hand, we've also seen how destructive it can be and how it can just serve as a very toxic place. So we need to it depends on the person and how they're using the cell phone and social media, to be honest. I will always say use it to the best of your ability. Sometimes we do see a lot of crazy things, but it is always our choice to scroll away and not entertain that at the end of the day.
And that's something which we all of us need to learn.
100%.
I mean, I think it's human nature too.
Yeah.
So we touched on education. What role does education play in fixing the world's problem? Do you think if the youth is educated enough, they will be good leaders?
Yes and no, because I don't think that knowledge on its own is enough. You have to apply the knowledge in order for it to work. So education enough? No. In some way it has to be applied. And I think that's what our message is about. That's what we're pushing for, is apply it. Go out there and actually do it. You haven't really passed the test if you just say, okay, yes, I know it now. You have to apply it.
Exactly.
It's one thing knowing, like Jamie says, but it's something else going out there and actually doing it. So we need to start now showing people this is how you do it. Or come, let me hold your hand and let me show you how it's been done. If you don't do that, they know. They just know that, but nobody's actually acting it out. And only once you go and you actually touch or you do,
then you
or
understand.
You fix, then you'll understand, and you'll understand why you need to do it. And that's what change is about. It's going out there and actually doing.
Exactly. And again, we as adults do not guide, or would you say, Jamie, right? Okay, you're a parent, Michelle. Jamie's not listening to you. She's a young adult. So do you think it's your responsibility if she doesn't want to change positively? Even though she's a young adult.
I think depending on her age, because there's certain amount of responsibility parents need to take for kids that are a certain age. Once they're at a certain age, then they're independent and they have to make their own decisions. So sometimes kids decide to do something totally opposite to what the parents actually taught them. You know, so you can't always blame the parent because the child's not turned out okay. So as parents too, I think parents also important. Parents also need coaching. Parents also need love because there are those certain situations.
Oh, I love what you said. Parents also need love.
Also need love. They need understanding.
We were also young.
They also need understanding because you do get their child that the parents is doing their best and showing them the best way they know how, and the child decides to make totally different decisions. So as I say, we're all human beings, and that's why we're so passionate about servant leadership and teaching, you know, empathy and all those things, because it's not only kids who need love. It's not only parents who need love. We all need love.
Even animals.
Everything. Mother Nature. All
exactly.
Of it.
If you keep on walking past a tree and kicking it or tramping it every single day, eventually the tree's going to die also. So, you know, I always think of that when I look at somebody else's life and I say, if I keep on battering this person and telling them how bad they are, eventually the leaves are going to fall off and die, you know. But likewise, you also need to know when to say no. And it doesn't mean that if you say no to somebody stamping your leaves, you're a bad person. 100%. So it's a matter of weighing out and balancing, being that empathetic good person, but also being assertive to stand up for your rights. I mean, I personally have been told by one or two, you know, family, sometimes we disagree, whatever, and you say, oh, you're supposed to be this sort of person. That's who you are in communities and in public. So why did you tell me off, or why did you say that to me?
Gosh.
I mean, at the end of the day, I should be firm with you because I'm that person. And when you're a person, I'll give you an example. It's very silly if somebody was trying to abuse an advocate against abuse. Think about it. So you'll find that your people who are kind and empathetic and or advocates towards certain things, they're your people who are a little bit more stronger, because think about it, it's now you're being a hypocrite. So if I'm saying, no, don't treat so-and-so that way, or this is the wrong way, why would I tolerate somebody doing it to me? So just for everybody out there as well, stop saying that to people, you know, and especially like religious leaders and people out there who we see as these empathetic figures and teachers. We are human, and if anything, we should be the most strictest people, the people who say no the loudest. And if you are those sort of people, even educators, it falls in the same category. Don't feel bad for taking a stand and saying no. Don't feel bad for saying you will not treat me that way because it's not my values and it's not what I stand for. If anything, you should be that person. What you should not be is that person tolerating what you know is wrong.
100%.
Because then you can't call yourself a teacher. You know?
No, that's so true. And sometimes, like, we tend to reprimand a child for doing something wrong, swearing, picking on an adult, but we don't really teach them how it feels if that's going to happen to you.
Exactly.
So they don't know. They just feel like everyone's doing it, so why don't I do it? I'll pick on somebody, you know, say something like that there. We'll be taking a short ad break.
Darwood Megastore takes 7.
Darwood Megastore. More... What's the line again?
More cluck for your buck. Take 14.
Darwood Megastore. Fiddle South African place since 1947.
What? No. The line is... Take 22.
Darwood Megastore. The friendliest staff and...
Can't take it anymore.
More cluck for your buck at Darwood Megastore in Briardine, Wilson's Wharf, PMB, and our flagship Mega Boutique at Saxony Westwood Mall.
WhatsApp us now on 060-904-1056.
Save the date. Hajj Seminar 2026 is back. Saturday, 11th April, 8 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at 207 West Road in Overport. Proudly brought to you by the Al Ansar Foundation and the Capital Group of Companies.
Africa. For too many communities across Africa and the world, access to clean water remains a dream. At Africa Muslims Agency, we dig deep, reaching into the heart of the earth to fill the cups of those in need. Sponsor a water well for 16,500 Rand, or a borehole in Afghanistan for 55,000 Rand, or Africa for 65,000 Rand, or any amount. With water comes food, health, education, and growth. An ongoing reward with Africa Muslims Agency.
Your perfect companion. Radio Al Ansar.
Call us now on 0861 904 904.
Hey, youth of today, it's time to keep it real. Real talk, real issues, real youth. From mental health and peer pressure to faith, identity, and the power of social media. No topic is off limits. Join Sumaya Khan every Wednesday evening from 6 to 7 p.m. on Radio Ansar for real talk where your voice matters. It's your space, your story, your platform. Real talk, real issues, real youth. Only on Radio Ansar.
Radio Al Ansar, Durban 90.4 FM, Peter Maritzburg 105.6 FM.
اضحك 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 خلي البسمة تنور قلبك، خلي الفرحة تضوي دربك، ما في شي في الدنيا يسوى تزعل روحك. اضحك اضحك مثل طفل بأول عمره، مثل بنية تقطف زهرة، مثل أم تبوس ولد راجع من برا. اضحك لدنياك، اضحك لدنياك، اضحك لدنياك.
Radio Al Ansar, for me, for you, for everyone.
اضحك لدنياك، اضحك لدنياك، اضحك لدنياك، تضحك معاك بس اضحك. اضحك ما تدري وش جايب بكرة، كل شي صار البارح ذكرى. عيش اليوم وخلي البسمة في بالك فكرة. اضحك اضحك مثل طالب توه ناجح، او عريس البيت رايح، او مشجع ساعة يدري ان فريقه رابح. اضحك لدنياك، اضحك لدنياك، اضحك لدنياك، تضحك معاك.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Youth Frequency, only on Radio Al Ansar in Durban 90.4 FM and in Peter Maritzburg 105.6 FM. Guest in studio, co-host, yes, they are youth. They are Youth Frequency. So, we have Michelle and Jamie. Topic this evening. We are chatting about if you could fix one thing about the world right now, what would it be? What would it be? You right there who's listening to me, what would it be? Think about it. Well, since it's Youth Frequency, we'll be focusing on the youth. Are we focusing too much on the problems and not enough on the solutions?
I agree with that. So it's more like, oh, this is happening in the world, this is bad, this is what we're lacking. Okay, what are we doing about it?
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. What are you doing about it? Mm-hmm. It's never going to get better until we start taking action, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think all of us are guilty of that. Like, let's look at something, right? Service delivery. Everywhere. Driving here, I had to put my glasses on, even though I wear lenses and glasses. Mm-hmm. But, it was so hot. So and then I had to put my glasses on and say, okay, there was a waterfall coming from the ground. I thought it was just something flying. So should we complain that there's no water, no electricity, we're not doing, and we're the youth, how we can bring change?
I feel like, the situation that you mentioned is a little bit more tricky, but there are things that we can do. Like some things we can take into our own hands and we can try to sort out within our capacity. If not, there are more than enough people who are knowledgeable and who actually can. We are in the age of information. So for someone to say, I don't know something, like you just get online and you search it.
You're saying that. My daughter asked me the other day, where does Cyril Ramaphosa lives? So I said, Google it. Everything you sit on your iPads, Google it. Instead of playing those stupid games and looking, Google research. We had to look in encyclopedias.
Exactly. And wait to go to the library to do
Friday,
it.
Saturday trips to the library.
Yes. Yes.
Ever lost a book?
Yes, and you had to pay for it. Yeah.
But we stressed, huh?
We did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now it's just phones, just right in your fingertips.
I feel, like since we touched on that, libraries, museums are like something don't exist. The mailman. The mailman. Have you seen any mailman?
Not at all.
Samanella, did you see any mailman? No one. No. You remember? Come and leave the letters in the post box.
That's crazy.
And what about the milk delivered to our door?
Yeah, that was the best milk.
That was the
Sabanella,
best.
you remember? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to tell what you do, but it was in the bottle, huh? And but no one stole it. Nobody stole it.
That's the thing. Nobody stole it. Yes, and our newspapers that were delivered.
Exactly.
And,
Nobody stole it. So we can get things right.
Yes,
but now,
100%.
we got the pipes getting stolen. We got practically, they can take everything and go. They blame it on unemployment.
I think at this point, again, some people just want excuses to do really stupid things. For some people, genuinely, it is unemployment, which is very unfortunate. But for the large a bunch of people, it's just an excuse to really do something stupid.
Exactly.
I think not, what we're not realizing is that the more we don't correct this behavior, the more it's rolling over to the next generation. And it's amazing we're having this chat, because just in this week, one of the days, I was having the same chat with my helper in the kitchen. I even made a video of it. So you can go on TikTok and see the video if you don't believe me. And one of the things we were talking about is, and I do believe, again, that was a light bulb moment. We were just chatting and generational curses came up, and all of a sudden there was this light bulb moment, and something in my spirit said to me, things like poverty, abuse, all that, it's a generational curse.
100%.
And her and I got deep in conversation, and we got to talk about, sometimes we wonder why, if you look at just some families, they just poverty. There's just poverty, My granny did it, so my mother did it, so I'm doing it, and that's the way that life's supposed to be. My father did it, his father's father did it, and I'm doing it, and it's in my blood, and I'm not going to change because that's what we believe in. But what we're failing to realize is that by not stopping and looking at certain situations and saying, how can I become better? What changes do I need to make? That generational curse is going from one generation to the other. So I'll give you just a very quick example, like in a case of theft or stealing. All right, sometimes we wonder why certain cultures or people as such struggle all the time. But if you get and you start talking to them and asking questions, right, they come from very poverty-stricken environments where they say, I have to steal to eat, I have to steal because of unemployment, and there's no other way. But the one person out of the entire family who says, no, I'm not going to accept that. I'm going to sit up till 3 o'clock in the morning and study every single day, and I'm going to get the overall award at school for all my subjects, is the one person who breaks that generational curse and becomes a doctor and then looks after the whole family.
There are so many...
we see it all the time.
Exactly, and there's a change. And even though once they become something better, when I mean better,
it breaks the chain.
They progress. It's sad how the very own family kind of doesn't like them because... What is that? Especially the youth, amongst the youth.
A lot of the time, you must realize we get triggered by anything that's different or anything outside of what we are used to. If we are used to normalizing, let's just say, someone, like if every single day our brain is locked in and focused on stealing, for example, the one day maybe someone finds something that's yours and gives it back to you, everyone's going to be so shocked and be like, oh my gosh, what is this? Anything that's different, a lot of the time will persecute.
Do you know, not all youth are bad. Recently, someone found a bag of 40 million rand and he called the police and gave it. I read it somewhere. Somewhere. I think it was in Durban.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know about it.
Morningside. And there were a whole lot of comments like, you're a stupid boy or you're a good boy. But imagine... so there is hope.
100%
there's hope.
No, it's like there is hope. But again, as you said, what's indoctrinated in you, and that's how you grow.
You got to break the chain.
You have to. It's a choice. Be the change you want to see. And all these people who are breaking it are showing you that it is possible.
And life changes for their children. And their children, by the time they get to their great-grandchildren, they don't even know what life they came from.
Do you know, we mentioned this at one show. Great Granny, they went over the river, on the mountain to go to school. Then Granny walked with no shoes to the school. And then Dad took the bicycle to school. And then you started taking a walk to school, then your child started taking the taxis, and now your child is Ubered, and you chauffeur them. They don't know, and that's what you can see the change.
Exactly.
Yes.
You can see the change.
But you've got to make the change. Somewhere somebody chose different to be able to have money
100%.
to pay for all those things. And a lot of the time, just like how we know sometimes the world can spoil us, depending on the decisions we make in this world, we can actually make our lives better because we have access to so many more things that can make our lives better. We got to just do it. Break that chain. Choose different. Make life better for yourself and your future generations that are going to follow you.
Well, that's so important. What small action can listeners take today to make a difference? One small action from our show.
Be the difference.
Be the difference.
Be the difference. Being a difference, it doesn't matter how big or small. As long as there's something positive in you being the difference, you are contributing to making the world a better place. Doesn't matter how big or small it is.
So
you can't measure good. There's no gooder than good. Good is good. So if you're taking small steps in kindness every single day to make the right decisions, to live an honest life, to be a good human being, to be a good example to those around you, whether it just be speaking politely or whether it be changing people's lives by assisting them with bills when they can't pay, it doesn't matter. Good is still good. And even the Almighty, when the Almighty looks at you, I hardly doubt that the Almighty is going to judge you by, did you give a family one slice of bread or a loaf of bread? We're going to all be judged on, when you had enough bread, did you share it? Not whether it was one slice or whether it was one.
100%.
A whole loaf, one whole loaf. Good. There's no gooder than good. Good is good. So going back to what I said in the beginning as well also, we need to stop judging each other. Everybody needs to look at themselves and everybody needs to work on themselves and saying, okay, this is who I need to be to help to contribute to making the world a better place. And I'm going to focus on that. I can't judge my partner next door to me because they only have one slice of bread that they can assist somebody with. I might have a loaf, but that's the part that God has given me and I must be grateful for it. So stay in your lane, mind your own business, and when people come to you, and if you have enough, you do have a responsibility to assist where you can. If you don't have enough, people shouldn't judge you for not having enough.
Exactly. What advice would you give to young people, Jamie, who feel powerless, totally powerless?
I'd say change your mind. You're lying to yourself. You are so powerful. That's what I'd say. You change your mind, you change your life. We have inherent power within us. We are inherently deserving of basic human rights. It is our mindset that tells us otherwise. So I'd say don't believe the lies that tell you anything else. We can see it even in the youth. Now it comes back to our ancestors. The way that we are living today, someone within themselves chose, yes, I do have enough power to fight for this, to speak up, to say it, and I will change things. And they did change things. So there's more than enough hope, but I'd say change your mind if you think that you're not powerful to begin with.
Exactly.
Otherwise, we'll all still be living in huts.
Even worse.
Or worse off. But somebody took the step forward, and that's why we are where we're at in life today.
Yeah, even just in South Africa.
Like you say, the granny who used to walk with no shoes, and then you moved on. Somebody took the step forward to say,
to do something different,
to teach us a new way.
To teach us a new way. Michelle, in one sentence, what does a better world look like to you?
Just be kind. Just be kind. And sometimes even kindness, people totally misinterpret it. Do you know, I can be so mean to you by coming to buy you groceries every day. I can be being mean. You want to know why? Because sometimes I'm spoon feeding you, I'm not helping you learn responsibility to go out there and work and be responsible.
So you're killing them with love.
I could be mean. That's being mean, where you're just over spoiling your child or you're over spoiling somebody. But I can be the kindest person to you to say, you know what? I have money, but I'm not going to buy it for you because I want you to become strong and I want you to value who you are. As a man, know that you paid for it. Know that you worked hard for it. Own it. And that could be the kindest thing I could ever do it for you.
Long term,
not
killing them with love.
Because
sometimes we feel we never have it. No one did it for us. So when we tend to want to do that which we never have to our children, not realizing we're killing them with love. That's and then when they're like a young adults, even though if they married or staying on their own, you still want to pay their bills. You still want to do every single
I'm
thing.
guilty of that a little bit. But for me, I think it's a matter of looking at the situation and asking yourself first and foremost, is there a need for you to get involved? And if there is, then you need to. But you get some people, and I'm not just talking about our children, that actually you don't need critical assistance, but they will still reach out and expect you to be there for them. But you've got your own life, your own bills. That's using you. Exactly. So I look at the situation and I ask myself, okay, I can see the situation's back, but is there a spouse involved here? Right? If there's a spouse involved, is the spouse working? If one of the spouses are working, then I'm not going to help you. I will go help that old lady whose children have deserted her and she's got nothing. So you have to learn to evaluate. So a lot of people might look at me and say, you know what, some people see me making a way somehow to assist some people, and then some people I don't assist. It's not because I'm being mean, it's because I look at the situation and everything I do is with God, and I say, Lord, show me. If I'm in a fundraise to assist somebody, you're going to show me, and you're going to show me the exact need of that person. I'm not willing to go and kill myself and fundraise for everybody who can make a way and afford it or work to change their lives. But show me why I must do that. And God shows me, and He'll say, but this person is for this and whatever. And when I see there's really no hope, and as a community, if I bring a few people together and we can help to change that person's life, I will do it. It's not the easiest part. It's not the easiest thing to evaluate, but you have to do that with God. If you don't do it with God, you're going to be helping all the wrong people.
Exactly. We need to teach the youth to think.
Yeah.
Don't realize, like sometimes when you say be kind, doesn't mean you must give everything of yours away.
Yeah.
Some young adults do that because now they said if you're kind, you have to do that. You need to be smart.
Yeah.
Who's using you? Do they like you? They like your hand.
You're right. And you get accused. I mean, like you get accused of not being kind when you're being kind by not helping. Because I believe that sometimes you can be the kindest by not helping, because a lot of people just want help, but they can help themselves. And there's those who really need the help. They're just saying, no, it's fine. I don't want to bother you.
Yeah, sometimes you have to be cruel to be kind.
I pray for the spirit of discernment, and God shows me. He really does.
Yeah. That's, we need to think about that. Jamie, rounding up anything to the youth out there.
Again, you are so powerful. There's more than one thing in this world that we can change, but you are not just one. There are people out there who do care and who can make a difference. And if you are that, then stand up and use your voice and be proud.
Yeah. Well, we have come to the end of Youth Frequency. As we come to the end of tonight's inspiring discussion, one thing is clear: change doesn't begin out there. It begins within each one of us. Whether it's through leadership, creativity, kindness, or simply raising your voice every single day. And, every single one of us has the power to make a difference. The world may have its challenges, but it also has hope. And so a big thank you to Michelle and Jamie. We were so emotional in today's show. I think we spoke.
Necessary.
This
is a very powerful topic. It is necessary.
Exactly.
And I hope that we've doubled listeners today.
Yeah, we were passionate. That's what it was.
And we spoke from the heart. So basically, we want the future generation to do right, be right, and think smart. So, to our listeners, remember, you don't have to fix everything. Just start with one thing. So this is Sumaya Khan with Michelle and Jamie. You don't have to fix everything. Just start with one thing. So, from me, Sumaya Khan, till next